Alright, hello everybody, my name is Solo, and today we're back here on, let me turn my mic up. We're back here on Destiny, and as always, we're going to be talking about some things that happened a little bit ago with Crota's End, of course, being the new raid that was rolled out over the weekend. There was a lot of, well, different conflicting opinions, and I wanted to talk about some of them today. It's going to be a very quick video today, because it's not gonna be like super bad. It's just me telling you guys what happened and then giving my opinions on it. So let's start off with the fact that Crota's End went live on Friday, the 1st of September, to, well, the challenge of teams having to beat it twice to get the challenge and the contest mode out of the way to get the title. And I believe it was Elysium that ended up taking it home, from what Bungie was saying. But there was a lot of different opinions floating around with this, and a lot of this came from some of the exotics that were disabled during the raid race. So for example, the Malfeasance, the Scant, or the Scant Filaments, and then Empowering Finisher mod was all disabled during the world's first race. Now I know that with Malfeasance, I haven't tried it out myself, but Malfeasance apparently got like a super buff this last season, so we're gonna have to check that out eventually. So I understand why that was disabled. Now, as far as the filaments and the finisher mod, I'm not exactly sure what's going on with those. Well, actually, we can take a look at those. So we go into collections, exotics, armor. I don't know who's or what's. Let's see, filaments. The hunter exotic. Or is it a warlock? Here it is. Okay, so its exotic is casting an overpowering rift will grant devour. Damage dealt by you and your allies within your empowering rift will disrupt combatants. So that's what got disabled. And then of course, Malfeasance, my favorite weapon in the game. Where is it? Come on. Oh yeah, Necrochasm did make a return with the raid, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. Could have been Forsaken Era. There it is. Yeah, Malfeasance got... Again, it got disabled because there's a pretty OP build. And this triggered a lot of people to be like, hey, why did you disable these? You're gonna make the raid race too hard. And it's like... You gotta realize a lot of people and a lot of YouTubers were basically hyping this up as Bungie needs to make this raid hard because people don't feel like the old raid races were hard and nobody wanted to do them because they weren't that hard. And now that Bungie is making them harder by disabling not only things that basically break the game itself, people are complaining that Bungie is making the raid race too hard. Again, we're encountering a point with the community where, and it's not everybody, I'm always going to say that, it's never everybody who's doing stuff like this. It's usually just a few people here and there. But we're encountering a point where the community needs to figure out what difficulty they actually want when it comes to just raids in general, and figure out exactly what they mean by more difficult, because you can mean more difficult and mean quite a few things, especially coming from Destiny's perspective, right? Like you could say, oh, I want it to be more challenging, and you could be meaning mechanically rather than you know, just enemy toughness, or you could mean more enemies besides mechanically and enemy toughness, or you just want the enemies to be bullet sponges. Whichever one you prefer, you know, it's how you'd probably describe it. But the community, I definitely think, needs to figure out what they want when it comes to difficulty in general, because I have not really heard a lot of the same views on difficulty. Some people want it to be really hard, other people just want it to be more like filled out, more like mechanically different, and then others just want it to be kind of a cakewalk. So we're kind of in that weird age of nobody knows what they want again. And yeah, it's been interesting. Other than that, I've heard a lot of people are actually pretty psyched about the fact that Crota was indeed the raid. I know there are still some Wrath of the Machine people who are a little bit butthurt about the fact that it wasn't Wrath of the Machine, and still are pretty upset. I've seen a bunch of comments on Twitter saying, "Oh well, yeah, it's okay, but I think Wrath would have been better." And to be honest, to fit the theme, I don't think Wrath would have been better, but you know, that's personal preference. If you're gonna have a Hive theme, it'd be weird to have a Siva raid reprisal release alongside it. And I know a lot of the other contention comes from the fact that Bungie have come out and said that they're not currently looking into another raid reprisal. And a lot of people are upset because that means, again, that the whole concept of Siva, which apparently a lot of people liked, even though when, yeah, Rise of Iron came out, a lot of people were mad about it for a while. So, I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. And again, with all this comes the quote-unquote rumors that Bungie is stepping back Destiny teams go work on Marathon for its release. And honestly, I'm just tired of them at this point. Why would, like, Bungie take teams off of Destiny when there are already teams working on Marathon? Like, I think people are just trying to justify things that are happening with bullshit to cause, well, people to go after Bungie, and it's stupid. And if you actively believe that Marathon is magically gonna just drain Destiny of all of its developers, I don't know what you're on. And I know there are YouTubers who also actively promote this theory, and it's stupid. But yeah, as far as it goes, it seems like a lot of the updates for Crotas were pretty good from what I heard. I've heard Necrochasm, the exotic, works with necrotic grips, which is hilarious. Because if you guys don't know, precision hits with Necrochasm cause a like hive explosion from the Cursed Thrall. And you can use that with Necrochasm. Or not Necrochasm, necrotic grips. And it just like chains. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, so my whole opinion on it is the community needs to figure out what level of difficulty they actually want before they start going after each other about difficulty levels, and also going after Bungie about difficulty levels. Because if you want a raid race to be hard, you need to realize that they are going to make sure that it's going to be hard, and they are going to probably disable any exotic that's going to make it easier for you to complete the raid. And that's just a fact at that point. If you want it to be a cakewalk, they're going to be like, oh, hey, here's, you know, here's the raid casually. Go for it. Whoever gets it, gets it. But again, it's one of those things, having a raid race title under your belt is very 1% of people. I know a lot of people don't like the fact that there's a 1% that always gets the raid race, but again, a lot of these people do basically train and like work with each other so much that they are capable of doing it. That's why Elysium has won it so many times, because a lot of them that are a part of that clan are very much aware of how raids usually are day one. And yeah, it's one of those things. People are complaining. What can you do? But yeah, that's my honest opinions on it. Let me know yours in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one as I'm getting shot to death. Bye-bye.